And just like that, we're back. So let's get into training, physique updates, what the plan is moving forward, and give you guys some key takeaways for your own training too. Let's get into it. All right, so gyms are back open around the country, especially here in Australia and a lot of places around the world too. Hopefully, wherever you are, your gyms are opening up, and if not, hang in there tight. I'm sure they will be soon, and hopefully they're starting to ease the restrictions. So I thought I'd give you guys a physique update, seeming as I'm getting back into the gym with more structure, with more routine, with obviously more variety, with the ability to actually utilize and use the machines that I normally would have, and give you a bit of a breakdown and perhaps extrapolate some key points like I've done over the past few weeks to help and enhance your own training and avoid a lot of mistakes that most of us are going to be making during this time. First things first, I will be doing a lot more training and nutrition based videos because that seems to be what you enjoy the most. As always, comment if you want to see something specific. Happy to display it, but the training and the nutrition definitely seems to be the most popular for obvious reasons. So I'll put some training clips here. Some of them are recent, most of them are recent, some of them are in the gym, some of them are just in that home gym before I actually got back into the gym, because I've only been there since Saturday, so I've done like 2 days literally. And as I've explained in my podcast, and if you haven't already listened to that, shameless plug, go and listen to it, which is reintegrating into the gym successfully, going over the key points that you want to keep in mind so that you're not going to be in the gym doing too much too soon, getting too gung-ho, and increasing fatigue too much and not being able to actually facilitate recovery and therefore continue training, and you're going to leave yourself susceptible to the very thing that we've all been trying to avoid for these past couple of months, which is obviously an illness. Not saying that you get COVID-19, but if you lower your immunity in your nervous system, you're going to be more adept to catching something, even if it isn't COVID, and that's not what we want. So take a graded approach to your training. So slowly increase training volume. If you've done absolutely nothing, you're going to have to start with a little bit less. If you've had access to some weight, some familiar movement patterns, perhaps you can get in there and do a little bit more. Again, common sense always prevails here, and if you're unsure, err on the side of a little bit less and a little bit more caution, and then slowly build up that way. For myself, I'm going to go back to a 5-day split. Previously, I was doing 2 weight training sessions in a gym with just 3 movements, and then the other 3 days I was just doing body weight, and I had a few light dumbbells and big water jugs that I was able to use, but nothing too heavy, nothing too strenuous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in for these first few weeks, I'm going to do 2 to 3 sets, and I'm just going to hit an RPE of about 6, maybe 7 at the very, very most, especially for the movements and the actual exercises that I've not done in a long time. So again, RPE, 10 being maximal exertion, 1 being almost nothing, okay? So really, really simple gauge there. It's gonna be really, really easy and enticing to want to just go in and smash it. I even noticed that on the weekend, the Friday and the Saturday when I went in, I wanted to like do certain movements and do certain things, but already by the end of the session I was starting to feel, wow, like, yeah, that's just leave it there, because otherwise, you're just going to over fatigue, smash your immune system and your nervous system, and it's not going to be good for recovery. So I want to continue to train 5 days a week. I'm going to need to spread, and I'm going to need to manage that volume and that stress. So I'm going to be doing 2 to 3 sets. I have a bit of a weird split. So I train all muscle groups 2 to 3 times a week. That's probably not the weird part for those of you who are educated and watching. But I will do a pull, a legs, a push, an off, and then I'll do a lower upper day. And the reason I do this is because I do like the powerlifting movements. I'm not necessarily interested in being a powerlifter, but as I spoke about before, there is a massive correlation between strength and size, and the ability to correlate and use those attributes to increase hypertrophy, so maximize muscle mass by going through different phases. We've got volume phases, we've got accumulation, and we've got sort of intensification, etc. So wave loading, basically periodization, really, really simple, organizing your volume over time in congruence to your main goals. So when I do it this way, if I want to bench 3 times a week, because that's one of my biggest points of improvement, I can actually do it by benching on my pull day and then resting that second leg day, or that first leg day I should say, and then doing the push, rest, legs, and then hitting it again, so I can have my hypertrophy, my power, and my strength day. Currently, I'm just benching twice a week. I like this split. It allows me to work on my points of improvement by putting those at the start of the week. I am also squatting twice a week because it's a big improvement. Deadlifting once, one of my stronger lifts, and I've tailored it that way. And that's how it should always be for you as well. You can have some basic structure and some basic fundamentals and principles, and you should always abide by those, but then you should personalize it to you as well. And then from there, I'm going to increase the volume slowly. I'm going to work on a 4-week block. So I'm going to have those 4 microcycles, so weeks, and then I'm going to build up the volume through the mesocycles, or the blocks, if you like, the macrocycles. And I'm going to continue to progress over time. And I'm going to swap out the bigger exercises less frequently, because I don't really need to do so. Those I'll be changing the rep ranges, the intensity, the volume, etc. And for the smaller accessory lifts, so the compound movements which are not as prevalent, and maybe things like machines, okay, presses, pulls, etc. Hip hinge variants, so not my main lifts. I'll swap those out probably every 6 to 8 weeks, or when I start to stagnate on them, and I'll just change the variation, simple things. And then isolation movements, they're the things I'm going to change more frequently. If you think about it, an isolation movement, single joint, it's a lot simpler. The body's going to adapt to it a lot faster. It's going to not cause as much central fatigue. It's not going to be hard to recover from. These are the things we can change frequently. These are the things we can train till failure, and that's when we can kind of be a bit more of a bro bodybuilder, if you like. And it also keeps the training interesting too. And I think a big misconception is people changing too many things too soon or too quickly, or not knowing when to change what variables and how to do it, so you can continually progress over time. But once again, if you want more information on that, visit my academy. I'll put a link here. So that's pretty much what it looks like, guys. That's a bit of an overview. Nutrition wise, I'm eating currently 3,200 calories. I dropped them a little bit. I'm going to bring those back up to 3,500 slowly. I'm in a lean gaining phase. I'll be generally doing this for a long period of time. I'll maybe take 1 mini cut a year if I have to, because I'm taking a more pragmatic approach. I'm not going to be getting lots of body fat, and I'm going to rinse and repeat. And I'm going to do that for the next 2, 3, 4 years before I even think about competing again, because I have other goals that I want to achieve. One of them being building my business and helping more of you achieve a better approach and a more intelligent approach to your physique in a way that's holistic too. Because again, it's got to be flexible, it's got to be sustainable, it's got to be enjoyable. So that's pretty much where I'm at the minute. I'll start to break down these days. I'm going to go over key topics, some of the biggest lessons learned, the most common mistakes, and make videos on those topics as well. Make them fun, make them engaging, easy and digestible. And I'll be posting those up more regular. So as always, if you want to see something, let me know. Comment below. I've got a ripper coming out next week for you. I've also got some more nutrition-based videos, which I mentioned earlier. We're going to do some food challenges. We're going to get more of that lifestyle, that entertainment in there. So lots of exciting things coming, and now we can really push forward now that, you know, COVID is coming to an end, and we can get out there and hopefully make a positive impact and capitalize on what the past few months have served us up. So guys, as always, thank you for watching. If you like the video, I've got to say it, like the video. As I've said before, comment with something positive, share it around, it helps the channel grow, and of course, subscribe for more weekly videos dropping multiple days of the week. And in the meantime, as always, guys, stay fearless.